Hello, I'm Rick McCrabb from Cox First Media, here today talking about In Your Prime. Today's subject is strength training. Kim from the YMCA is here. Let's talk a little bit, Kim, if you would, about strength training and the importance of it for those of us in your prime.
So strength training is absolutely important for everyone. It doesn't just have to be somebody who's looking to bulk up and build huge muscles. Any load-bearing exercise is actually going to be really beneficial for your health.
And then as we get older, we start losing muscle mass, we start losing some of our strength that, we still want to be able to do things today that we could do 20 years ago. For someone, 50, 55 years old and older, can you just talk about things that we need to do to kind of keep being active?
Yeah, so when you are around age 50, 55-ish, your muscle mass, it's almost being lost at double the rate as it was when you were younger. So it's really important to incorporate strength training into whatever kinds of workout exercises you're doing. You could add load in. If you are doing body weight squats every now and then, you could pick up a set of small dumbbells, 3-5 pounds, and incorporate those into some squats. If you're really focused on, I just want to be able to get my groceries out of the car, you can incorporate some dynamic movements where you're shifting from the ground up to a shelf, or however you feel like you would like to improve your movement through life.
A lot of times I hear about seniors being concerned about falling, breaking a hip, something along those lines. I'm guessing that flexibility, right, and strength would help reduce the risk of possibly falling.
So absolutely, strength training is going to be really good for your bone health. So when you put load on your body, so some kind of weight-bearing exercise, the tendons and muscles are going to stimulate your bone, and that's going to encourage higher bone density. That's really important for someone who might be more prone to falling, because then when you take a fall, you're not going to have to worry as much about a break or something like that. You're training your bones to be a little bit stronger. And then the other point is, if you're strength training, you're going to be working on, strengthening those smaller muscles that you use to keep your balance. So those little ankle muscles and your core, you're going to be able to manipulate your body a little bit better to hopefully decrease the number of falls that you have.
So Kim, when we're talking about strength training, obviously muscles come to mind, but really the benefits more are the whole spectrum as far as improving your health, right?
Right. So strength training is actually going to help a lot with diseases you might not necessarily associate with strength training. So it's going to help a lot with those weight-related diseases. So when you build higher muscle mass, you're actually going to be raising your metabolism. So it's going to help you keep off a little bit more weight. Right. So any obesity-related illness or some of the cardiovascular-related illnesses, you're actually burning more calories the more you train your muscles. So that's going to help with those illnesses. And things like diabetes, trained muscle is going to help a lot with glucose regulation.
Those of us who are seniors, what are some things that we can all of a sudden realize that we can't do today that we used to be able to do? And then how can we then improve on that?
So first, you're going to want to definitely talk to your physician, because they're going to know more about your abilities than I ever would be able to. So you're going to want to ask them what kinds of strength training you can incorporate in your life, and they're going to help you come up with a plan. And then if you are not super comfortable working on that plan on your own, you could definitely go to something like a YMCA or a local gym and talk to some exercise professionals about what the best step for you as an individual would be.
If I went to a gymnasium today for the first time in a long time, I'm going to probably be a little bit apprehensive. Looking around, and there's 20 and 25-year-old men and women, right, who are doing a lot of lifting, and all I'm working about is just flexibility. How can we try to get seniors over that hump of being apprehensive?
Oh, so most gyms and facilities like that are going to have some sort of orientation. So if you go to a Y of Greater Dayton, I know that we have a couple of things that we could put you in. So usually if it's somebody who's, I'm really nervous about exercising, I haven't done it in a while, if they're an older individual, I would usually recommend starting out with something like a silver sneakers class or one that's geared toward older adults. That's going to give them the opportunity to not be the center of someone's attention, but they're going to get guidance in how to execute those lifts, how to execute those movements with the instructor of that class. And then the instructors, they're very aware of what's going on in their classes. They're going to be able to encourage you to make modifications to make it a little bit easier for you to start with. And if they notice that you are above and beyond your peers, they might make recommendations on how to make that exercise a little bit more complicated. The second thing that we usually offer as YMCAs is an orientation or something called an Active Tracks program. So for us, we utilize Active Tracks. It's a software that we have in all the YMCAs of Greater Dayton. It puts you with a fitness counselor at our building, and they can run through a strength test with you just to see where you are on different exercises. And then from that, they can build a program for you to follow in the fitness center. Most of our selectorized strength equipment has a number on it. So your plan would tell you to go to machine number 2. So you don't have to remember what machine number 2 is called. And on that machine, there's usually a picture of a person doing the exercise. And if you're comfortable using a smartphone, if you're utilizing the app that we recommend with that program, you could tap on it and it'll show you a video of that person doing an exercise. So it's a way for you to feel a little bit more comfortable and connected. And usually during that appointment, if you have any kinds of questions on how to turn on a treadmill, how to get on an elliptical, how to operate any of the equipment, they're going to be able to help you with that when you first come in.
So Kim, a lot of us, we might play pickleball, we might golf, we might play tennis, but there's always like an off season. So now we're getting ready to go into, let's say, the golf season, and I haven't picked up a club in 4 or 5 months. How can strength training help me?
So it's going to help train the muscles that you're utilizing for your golf swing. If you were to be working, shoulders, core, hips a little bit, that's going to definitely prepare you for your golf season.
It's interesting, I'll watch a PGA event and I'll see the flexibility of those players. But I have to remind myself, they're 25 years old, and I'm much older than that.
Yeah.
But flexibility is important, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Flexibility is also super important. If you are working, so I mentioned how group exercise classes are a great way to introduce yourself to some strength training. In most of our older adult programs, there's a big flexibility and coordination component to a lot of those classes. So pairing that up with strength training is a perfect match.
When I'm going to the YMCA or wherever I'm going to work out, let's talk a little bit about socialization, getting me out of the house, out of the car, out interacting with other people. That has to be a health benefit also, right?
Oh, absolutely. That was one of the things we saw a lot post gyms being closed because of COVID. Once people were comfortable coming back into the gym, that's the thing they missed the most, was seeing their friends that they had made in the fitness center or in their group exercise classes. So it's going to be great for depression, anxiety, for you to come in, make some friends. In most gyms, facilities like ours, they're very welcoming. We want everybody to enjoy the space like we do. So in a lot of those group exercise classes, they get to know each other's names, they go out for lunches, they do things other than just work out, but that's how they all sort of start out coming together.
And I'm guessing that when you're exercising with other people, so all of a sudden, let's say you lift weights on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So after Monday, your buddies are going to say, hey, I'll see you on Wednesday. So now all of a sudden you start training yourself and you're looking forward to that next exercise.
Definitely. And that is one of the best ways to hold yourself accountable is, especially I know that if I know somebody's there waiting on me to do their workout, I'm like, well, I can't let that person down. So you're going to be more apt to show up and you're going to enjoy your time together.
Boy, Kim, I'll tell you what, right now I'm ready to go at least work out a little bit, It was great talking to you today about strength training and the benefits for those of us who are in our prime, right? We're not senior citizens, but we're in our prime,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, thanks for having me.